where he said a convicted child rapist flees Brazil, sneaks into the US illegally, and hides out in a Massachusetts daycare for years while it rakes in $100,000 in taxpayer funds. This is just one example of how our systems are failing. And remember, this is of course after 5 EEC inspections of the property that all passed. The EEC is turning a blind eye to this as well. I can almost guarantee you that. The truth is, I've walked into many places like this because of my career in real estate. People are opening these makeshift daycares all over the state of Massachusetts. If you're also a realtor, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you need to speak up on the conditions of some of these places. But this was a thing in Massachusetts, and every time I read about like Massachusetts fraud and how corrupt like policing and stuff there is, it makes me think back to that one trap house where police found like 2 guys in dresses and then another guy in a dress overdosed dead on the floor, and there were kids like in a locked back room in the house. I have a New Hampshire tab. So long, sanctuary cities. New Hampshire is safer than it was before thanks to the Anti-Sanctuary Act that takes effect today, that being January 1st, so yesterday. Our state will no longer fall prey to the chaos and lawlessness of sanctuary city policies. Republicans kept New Hampshire and your family safe. And this is a friendly reminder that not only are sanctuary cities now illegal in New Hampshire, but there is a bill that's going to be proposed early on in the year, and you'll see me talk about it multiple times leading up to and when it becomes proposed on the floor, that is going to abolish the New Hampshire, I don't know what to call it, it's like a bureau or whatever, the New Hampshire fucking refugee resettlement program thing. No more refugees to be resettled in New Hampshire. So if you are a New Hampshire resident, pay attention to that. Make sure you vote for it so it passes. So, Benny Johnson posted a video that says, San Francisco quietly rolls out $5 million per person reparations for black residents while in a $1 billion deficit. And I'll play the video and then read the community note.
$5 million payments to eligible black residents. However, paying for it may take some creative accounting. As the New York Post reports, the city's admitting it can't sign the checks as it's facing a $1 billion deficit.
Well, community note says, rolls out $5 million per person reparations. False. Reparations have not been rolled out. Neither is there any commitment to $5 million per person. The San Francisco board approved creation of a fund to allow private donations. The mayor said no money is allocated to the fund by the city. And I'll open these as well, but I did not just believe a Twitter post, and I did bring up an article. December 31st, 2025. San Francisco mayor signs bill that could give black residents $5 million each, but admits the city is too broke to pay. San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie quietly signed a questionable bill to create a reparations fund for black residents, but acknowledged the city is too broke to pay, sparking a swift backlash from critics who call the plan blatantly illegal. The bill, which was passed unanimously by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors earlier this month, creates a fund to accept private or public money for a controversial reparations plan that calls for cash payouts of $5 million each to eligible black residents, debt forgiveness, and 250 years of tax abatements and income subsidies. What the fuck? What the fuck? Also, it does say private or public money, by the way. In a non-slave state, by the way, 250 years of tax abatements. That's wild. We are not allocating money to this fund with a historic $1 billion budget deficit. We are going to spend our money on making the city safer and cleaner, said Lurie in a statement. Still, critics have called the reparations plan unlawful virtue signaling, even if private dollars are used. Racial preferences in government programs are banned under the Constitution, according to Andrew Quino, attorney at the Pacific Legal Foundation. The ordinance has a very explicit racially discriminatory purpose, he said. The bill, authored by Supervisor Shaman Walton, are you kidding me? The bill for reparations to black residents is authored by Shaman. If I brought this plot to a Netflix producer, they would tell me it was too wild and I would have to change it. The shaman states that the fund is intended to provide restitution, compensation, and rehabilitation to individuals who are black and or descendants of a chattel enslaved person and have experienced a proven harm in San Francisco. Walton previously called for a $50 million Office of Reparations in 2023, but was rebuffed by then-Mayor London Breed. London does need to do that. Advocates for the program argue that reparations are needed to support Black communities who suffered under discriminatory government projects, like a decades-long redevelopment of the city's Fillmore district that razed homes owned by Black families. A prior effort to aid the city's Black communities under Breed, called the Dream Keeper Initiative, erupted into scandal after its director was accused of pilfering city funds for personal needs, like her son's UCLA tuition. The Human Rights Commission, the same department that ran the ill-fated Dream Keeper Initiative, is in charge of the reparations fund, according to the city. Well, surely it won't be abused again. Surely it won't be pilfered and frauded again. People are livid. Lurie stained his reputation, said the local conservative activist Richie Greenberg. Other critics piled on after Lurie clandestinely signed the bill just before Christmas. Even the San Francisco NAACP called the $5 million payout arbitrary and warned the plan gave false hope. But that didn't stop city leaders from pushing it forward with virtue-signaling fanfare, wrote author Gerald Posner, who grew up in San Francisco, on X. I just had, like, a brain blast where I think it was, like, Ray William Johnson did some kind of song. I think it was him, like, fucking your mom. And he had someone named, like, Mike Posner on the refrain, I think it said. What the fuck? Brain blast? Doing your mom. Yeah, doing your mom. Sorry, I made it R-rated. San Francisco is facing a 2-year deficit as high as $936 million as spending outpaces revenues in the city of roughly 800,000 people. How is that even possible? I mean, I guess when you chase away all the people actually making money because you're taxing them to death, but like, holy fuck. Dentist and wife found fatally shot inside Ohio home with their 2 crying kids nearby. Suspect on the loose. Why? An Ohio dentist and his wife were found fatally shot in their home the day before New Year's Eve with their 2 crying children inside, sending police on a manhunt for the suspect. Spencer Tepe, 37, and his wife Monique, 39, were found dead inside their Wayland Park home in Columbus on Tuesday, following a welfare check from a family friend in Columbus police. Tepe, who worked at the Athens Dental Depot, was found with multiple gunshot wounds, with Monique suffering at least 1 shot to the chest, according to police records. Why? How come the suspect is never on the tight? Because they're a whore! There were no signs of forced entry and no firearm was discovered at the scene, police said, adding that they do not believe the deaths were a result of a murder-suicide. The welfare check was conducted after Tepe failed to show up for work this week, something that his boss, Dr. Mark Valrose, told police was odd given his punctual nature. Damn, what are all of these fucking articles? Homeless drifter accused of killing Barnes & Noble Christmas shopper blamed fight or flight outburst? Didn't this guy already get arrested? This guy looks like identical to that guy that I've tweeted about that has severe, like, meth mouth. Wasn't it the guy that set that woman on fire? On the train? He looks identical to that guy. He just, like, untwisted his meth mouth. Wisconsin horseback tour operator allegedly killed by ex-boyfriend in brutal assault on Caribbean island. Farming tycoon Bagman, accused of killing wife, could pay staggering amount to get out of jail. He's very wealthy? What is happening? What is happening? Is that I don't think it's the same guy, but they have like the same fucking hair and the same fucking like cold ass stare. The only difference is this guy's mouth isn't twisted by meth. Bagman evil max too hard. This is why I said, chat, you don't evil max, all right? He is always on time and he would contact us if there were any issues, Valorous told dispatchers. I don't know how else to say this, but we're very, very concerned. This is out of character for him. Several co-workers drove to Tepe's home Tuesday morning and insisted a welfare check be conducted after they heard children crying inside. Around 10 a.m., one of Spencer's friends reported seeing the dentist's body inside the home near a bed. There's a body inside, Spencer's friend told dispatchers. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We came here and he appears dead. Police arrived to confirm the double homicide with the 2 young children inside the home without any injuries. The investigation into Tepe's murder still remains active, with investigators asking anyone with information to contact the Columbus Police Homicide Unit or the Central Ohio Crime Stoppers. The Tepes were married in 2021 and were just 1 month away from celebrating their 5th anniversary. Monique's brother, Rob Misley, told the office outlet, I can't English. A memorial with roses and sunflowers was placed outside the couple's Wineland Park home on Wednesday. Well, what the fuck happened? What in the fuck happened here? The Phoenix DS, thank you. Dentist being brutally shot while the wife taking one to get rid of the witness. Sounds like a dentist did something inappropriate. Just a suspicious hunch? I have no idea. I mean, I don't want to, like, speculate. I can't imagine what might have happened, but it's weird to kill both of them. I guess at least the killer didn't kill the kids, but like, what the fuck? Friends of the Ohio dentist and his wife, who were found fatally shot in the home, are baffled by the inexplicable killings, as a camera across the street may hold the key to solving the horrific crime. Longtime pals of Spencer Tepe and his wife Monique, who were gunned down in their Columbus home Tuesday while their young children were inside, so they had no clue who may have wanted to hurt the couple. Monique was a vibrant and loving, caring person and a great mom, said Nick Wagner, a friend of the family, whose wife was Monique's bestie in grad school. I wonder, like, I don't want to speculate, but like, even if everybody's confused, what if they were like involved in some sort of weird crime ring thing? Asked if they had any sense of what may have happened, he replied no and declined to comment further. The suspect, who left no sign of forced entry, quickly fled and is still at large. May have been captured entering the 4-bedroom, $700,000 abode on a camera posted on a pole across the street. The Columbus Dispatch reported. Can I just say, who the fuck is paying $700,000 to live in fucking Ohio? What the hell? Like, I'm sure their house was fucking massive if they're spending $700,000 in Ohio for a house. Because, like, I've seen Victorian mansions in Ohio go for, like, $400,000. I'm talking, like, 12,000 square foot ornate Victorian places, right? 700 fucking thousand in Ohio? What did they own? That's nuts. They love the corn. That's probably, like, 3 mil elsewhere. Yeah, probably. Probably like 3 million somewhere else. 700,000 in Columbus will get you a pretty damn nice place. You live out in the boonies on the western edge of Ohio and your house only costs 110,000. Can we do a Zillow search on the Columbus home? I don't think we could find it. They did. I don't want to look for the address. That's a little, I don't know. The police camera sits on a utility pole a few hundred feet from the Tepe's home at the intersection of 4th Street and East 8th Avenue in the normally quiet Wineland Park neighborhood. See, this is once again, like, this is probably just like a random normal couple, so they don't need to think about it, but like, when I get a house, I'm going to have an insane fucking security system. I'm gonna have like 24, I almost said 24/7, but that wouldn't make sense. I'm gonna have like 100% outside coverage all around my house, 360 degrees, with like top of the line fucking cameras. All right, I'm not taking any chances. Don't come to my house. Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant, isn't that a plus size clothing store? Didn't immediately return a request for comment from the Post on Friday about whether the camera works and captured anything related to the shooting. Spencer was found with multiple gunshot wounds and Monique suffered at least 1 shot to the chest, according to the police records. No firearm was discovered at the scene and there was no sign of forced entry, police said, adding that they don't believe the deaths were a result of a murder-suicide. You know, if that's the house, that really doesn't look like a $700,000 house. Like, I wouldn't pay $700,000 for that. It looks like a fucking Minecraft house. They don't even have textures on their columns, man. Like, missing texture. One of Spencer's friends reported seeing the dentist's body inside the home near a bed, telling a dispatcher there's a body inside. Dental office that employed Spencer, meanwhile, was closed Friday to mourn his death. He will be deeply missed by our team and the many patients he cared for over the years, according to Mark Valrose, the owner of Athens Dental Depot. Our thoughts and sincerest condolences are with their families and loved ones during this very difficult time. Our practice will be closed for the remainder of this week. I guess we're not going to find out anything for quite a while about what happened to this couple, but I am locked in and I am interested, and hopefully we get more information in the coming weeks about what the fuck happened to these two people. The man accused of fatally stabbing a woman inside a Palm Beach Gardens Barnes & Noble. I had a stroke. Days before Christmas had traveled through several states before entering Florida, authorities said Tuesday. Palm Beach Gardens police identified the suspect as Antonio R. Moore, 40, and said he is accused of killing 65-year-old Rita B. Launcherich inside the Popular bookstore on the evening of December 22nd. You're not even safe in fucking bookstores anymore, man! What the hell? What the fuck? Investigators said Moore is not a Florida resident and had moved through multiple states, including through Georgia and North Carolina, before coming to Florida. Police said Moore boarded a bus on December 15th from Orlando to Titusville and then traveled onward into Palm Beach County. If you're planning to kill someone, why of all places would you go to fucking Florida? Like, if you want to kill someone, I think Florida's probably the last place you would want to go. Right? Because, like, aren't they incredibly strict and they have the death penalty? According to the arrest affidavit obtained by WFLX Fox 29, Moore entered the bookstore around 7:29 p.m. and Launcherich arrived shortly afterward. Investigators said Moore approached Launcherich in a store aisle and stabbed her in the back with a pocket knife. I'm sure the motive is completely unknown. According to the Palm Beach Post, Moore allegedly told police a fight-or-flight response overtook him, and he took a fixed-blade knife from his jacket pocket. Yeah, see, that is literally just an excuse. We can't keep letting criminals make up retarded shit and just being like, "Aw, he's too retarded to be put in jail. Send him back out to the general population so that he may kill again." Like, why? He reportedly told police that he stabbed Launcherich because she was the closest person to him at the time and said he did not have any prior interaction with her. Bystanders helped the victim until first responders arrived, the local outlet reported, and Launcherich was transported to St. Mary's Medical Center where she died during surgery. Police received a 911 call at 7:52 p.m. and located Moore several blocks from the scene minutes later. He was taken into custody without incident. Moore, who police say is homeless, told investigators he had no prior relationship with the victim and offered no motive for the attack. According to authorities, he admitted to sitting in the store charging his phone just before the stabbing. You know, these like, oh, well, she was just the closest person to me. You know, it's, no real reason. I had no connection to her. I just wanted to kill a bitch. These kind of things make me think of the Knockout game, where it was just like, you know, you would punch the closest a white person in the head as hard as you could. Kind of reminds me of that, but like escalated to, instead of just punching them with potential for concussion and potential for them hitting their head on the pavement and dying, now it's just actual death guaranteed. Let's see here. Jail records from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office show that Moore was booked on a charge of first-degree premeditated murder. He's being held without bond. Local family members and community members described Launcherich as kind and gentle, whose life was cut short during what should have been a routine holiday outing. Fox News Digital had reached out to Palm Beach Gardens Police Department for comment. That's kind of fucked up. I'm kind of tired of reading just like random stabbings like this, and I wish something would actually be done. Wisconsin horseback tour operator allegedly killed by ex-boyfriend in brutal assault on Caribbean island. An American horseback tour operator was allegedly killed by her ex-boyfriend while working on a Caribbean island, according to authorities and reports. Karen Johansson, 66, damn, she looks pretty fucking good for 66, was violently struck in the back of the head with an unknown object by a man while on a horseback riding tour on Runaway Beach in Antigua on the morning of December 19th, according to the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda. The unidentified man who allegedly launched the assault was a former boyfriend of Johansson. Lynn, Johansson's sister, told WMTV. Johansson, who hailed from Madison, Wisconsin, was transported to the hospital and treated for serious head injuries before being airlifted to the United States for further care. The assault left her with a massive head injury, several broken bones, and a fractured jaw, according to Antigua News. She was pronounced dead on December 26th at the University of Wisconsin Hospital after succumbing to her wounds, authorities said. That's really fucking sad. Her former boyfriend was taken into police custody, relatives added. It is unclear if police have formally charged him as the investigation continues. Johansson had been living in Antigua and frequently posted pictures on social media of horses galloping down the shore and of herself lounging on the beach. She was the daughter of the former owners of Johansson's Greenhouse, a staple business that operated for 50 years in Madison. Police have since offered condolences to Johansson's family and urged the public to come forward with information related to the case. Question. All right. They said that it was her former boyfriend and he's already been taken into police custody. Why has he not been named? Why are there no pictures of the former boyfriend? That's kind of weird. That's kind of strange. Farming tycoon accused of killing wife could pay staggering amount to get out of jail. He should not be allowed to. Farming tycoon, not bagman.
Spicy cat raid.
Dude, he looks fucking crazy. Holy shit. That is the face of an insane man. Farming tycoon Michael Abadi, accused of fatally shooting his wife in the head, could be getting out of lockup after pleading not guilty, but it'll cost him millions of dollars. The 63-year-old is accused of killing his former beauty queen wife, Carrie Ann Abadi, at their $1.6 million Pine Top, Arizona home. The couple were in the middle of a bitter divorce battle when she was found dead by a family member on November 20th. An Arizona judge raised Abadi's bond from $5 million to $5.5 million after he was extradited from California to Arizona on Tuesday afternoon. While Abadi's $5.5 million bail bond may seem out of reach for most people, his lawyer Owen Roth told the Post his client is very wealthy, but would not confirm if he plans to bail himself out. Abadi's net worth is currently unknown. The terms are standard. He needs to meet the financial requirements, reside in California, surrender his passport, and have the ability to travel to Arizona for court. Yeah, I just don't think he should be able to after murdering someone. I just don't think he should. Abadi's 2018 crops were worth in excess of $10 million, according to the Desert Sun, who described him as having enormous influence over the California desert's water supply due to his prominent position on the Imperial County Water District Board. Well, that seems kind of fucked up. That seems kind of fucked up that this guy would have like a massive say over water supply for people in California. I don't know, that seems a little weird. Despite his vast wealth, Abadi allegedly killed his 59-year-old wife during a spousal support dispute. I don't know what you mean by despite his vast wealth, as if incredibly wealthy people haven't killed their spouses before? I don't know, man. She told the court during the divorce battle that they lived an affluent lifestyle and owned properties in 3 states, and that she needed $100,000 for attorney fees and $30,000 a month to continue her lifestyle, but was only being paid $5,000 a month, according to Fox 10. That's crazy. That's crazy. This lady was like, I was married to you, so now I need $30,000 doodles a month. That's nuts. Abadi said he was receiving about $22,000 a month to run the farm as the business struggled to pay its creditors in full. The income available at this time does not warrant any increase in the amount to which the parties stipulated, let alone an increase to $30,000 per month. Holy fuck. Lee Hejmanowski, Abadi's family law attorney, wrote in court papers. That's a crazy last name. He eventually agreed to pay her $6,400 per month. Abadi allegedly drove from California to Arizona to kill his wife at the lavish pad, and then drove immediately back, according to police. That's fucking cold. Holy shit. Her nephew told investigators he had heard a loud sound before finding her fatally wounded, according to the autopsy report. When investigators searched the home, they discovered a bullet hole in a window and said she was likely shot from 1 yard outside the home, the report said. Abadi was seen in his booking photo wearing an anti-suicide vest designed to protect inmates from harming themselves. It's jail. It sucks, Roth told the Post just hours after representing his client in an Arizona courtroom. My sense, he worries about how it's going to affect his family. Well, that's kind of cute. I never knew that they had, like, really nice windows on the back of these jail vans. I feel like it's kind of silly to have the windows there, but, like, you know, I guess it looks better than a cage. The couple were married for 31 years and have 3 children. He cares deeply about his kids, that's come through. The guy I've gotten to know is quiet and shy. He doesn't shoot his mouth off, said Roth. His attorneys added they are deeply concerned about his health as he suffers from numerous medical conditions requiring ongoing treatment and access to specialized care. I don't really care about his medical conditions because he gave a medical condition to his wife. It's called being dead. Allegedly. I'm going to get him the very best outcome that I can, said Roth. That's crazy. Calling a jail van cute? Kier never changed. Well, it's like they put like little fucking country rose windows on the back of the jail van. They're just missing like a little garland, and it's like for wedding pictures, man. Brother, I don't give a fuck about his health anymore. Like, come on. Exactly. Like, what the fuck? Unfortunately, domestic murders are never smart. You know. That's insane. We had so many insane fucking articles come out of that one we looked at. He said, immigrate to America, NGO gets you an SBA loan, buy house, call house a daycare / home health center, NGO enrolls you in SBA 8A, government contracts come in, file for transportation vehicle gift through 8A, get free car for quote-unquote transportation, collect money forever. They made us pay for their American dream while telling you to bootstrap it. And he's quote retweeting a post that says, a massive new scam just blew open in Minnesota. Regular single-family homes are being rebranded as assisted living facilities to drain taxpayer money. The numbers are insane. Here's what investigators found. Assisted living programs in Minnesota are growing 2 times faster than other state programs. Payments are exploding at 10 to 15 times the rate of everything else. Shell companies are being used to set up many of these locations. New facilities are popping up all over Minnesota cities. A shocking number are tied to known money laundering scammers. One of the places looks like an average house on a quiet street, but on paper it bills itself as an assisted living facility, and now it's pulling in huge taxpayer dollars. Look at the numbers. The Minnesota population is about $425,000. Population is about 425,000 people, 169 facilities. St. Paul is a population of 307,000 people, 83 facilities. Brooklyn Center, population of about 30,000 people, 106 facilities. A Brooklyn Park, population of about 84,000 people, 181 facilities. Yet more than Minneapolis, a city 5 times larger. And it gets worse. One of these assisted living operations is owned by a man indicted for laundering $1 million in the Feeding Our Future scandal. These facilities pulled in $2.3 million in state money last year alone. According to the Minnesota Reformer, that same individual has received $49 million since 2016. This isn't a coincidence. This isn't mismanagement. This is a system being exploited on purpose. How much longer are taxpayers supposed to fund this? I don't want to pay taxes, chat.
This may look like your typical single-family home, but it bills itself as an assisted living facility, and it receives a lot of taxpayer money. Here in Minnesota, the number of people getting help in assisted living facilities is up, double the growth of other programs. But here's the kicker. The rate of payment in this assisted living space is 10 to 15 times the growth in other programs.
Hi.
So we pulled the data on assisted living facilities in the Minneapolis area. Minneapolis, as you might expect, has a lot.
That's
169.
wild when you see it on a graph.
With a population of 307,000, has 83. But Brooklyn Center, 30,000 population, has 106. And Brooklyn Park, population of 84,000, has
insane.
181, more than Minneapolis, a city 5 times its size. But this assisted living facility puts this all in perspective. It's owned by a man indicted for laundering $1 million in the Feeding Our Future scam. He's Gandhi Mohammed, now Gandhi Abdi Kadai, and his LLC owns the homes. His wife runs the assisted living facilities, and the state is continuing to pay as he awaits his trial. Okay. We went to each of them.
We're curious because the man who owns this building was indicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal. Did you know that?
No.
Don't know that?
No. You think what?
Do you know the Feeding Our Future scandal? The scam that was, there's all these indictments related to false, billing on feeding children.
No, that's not true.
That it's not true?
It's not true. The way I know that, no.
These assisted living facilities receive...
It's not, I know her. It's not true. I don't care what your paper says. I don't care what the indictments, it's not true. Don't believe your lying eyes.
Over $2.3 million in state money last year alone. A Minnesota Reformer article says he has been paid a whopping $49 million since 2016.
How is it possible that this person who's been indicted in Feeding Our Future also is still collecting checks from the state running?
How is it possible he hasn't been deported? This is why people are so fucking angry. It's not enough to indict them. You're never gonna get that money back from them. So you need to deport all of these people. And then the politicians or government officials that facilitated this kind of fraud, you need to garnish those people for the rest of their fucking lives.
These assisted living centers with his wife.
I honestly have no idea. It seems like the most basic due diligence would have been to run a check of all the people indicted in Feeding Our Future and then make sure they're not getting paid from other state programs. And at least in this case, and I've heard perhaps in others, they didn't do that.
State Representative Kristen Robbins is the chair of the House Fraud and Oversight Committee here.
So this person owns assisted living facilities, and his wife runs the service provider part of it. So he owns the property. One of the properties was purchased with the same shell company he used to money launder in Feeding Our Future. And now
it's not even good fraud, but we still just let them get away with it. This is absurd. There's no way this can happen without people in positions of power being complicit. Just fucking zero chance, dude. Ain't no way.
That same shell company has been used to buy a new assisted living facility property. It's unconscionable that they haven't done the most basic due diligence to cross-check that Feeding Our Future defendants aren't getting additional state money.
Now, we reached out to this man and his wife and yet to hear back. We also reached out to the Department of Human Services here, and they gave us a statement. In part, it basically says, ultimately, they can't cut funding from this guy because he is simply a landlord, essentially because his wife runs the services for these assisted living facilities, essentially kind of passing the buck.
Yeah, Rich, when you think about the potential money that was squandered instead of helping people that need it, it really is so hard to comprehend. Excellent.
I don't think the Feeding Our Futures was ever intended to actually help people that need it. Considering that Ilhan Omar was the one that set it up, I'm pretty sure it was always supposed to be a front for fraud. Like, there ain't no way, dude.
Investigative reporting.
Oh, that was the end. Oh, on your... Okay. Bull fucking shit, they can't cut funding. Yeah, I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that, man. That's crazy. What is this?
Section 8, people don't know this. Section 8 has a program where instead of paying your rent they'll pay your mortgage. Now,
the government will pay you Section 8 in your own house?
Your own house.
They'll pay you your rent in your own house.
They pay your... No. They pay the mortgage. It's not the money that doesn't
That means instead of the government paying $2,300 for you to be in Section 8, they'll pay your mortgage.
They pay your mortgage. So basically, they pay your house because eventually...
You're going to own it. The government doesn't own doesn't own the title.
No, it's your house.
Sounds like the biggest...
Now, before you reach out to me for this, I have no idea about it. Like, this is public information. There's no idea. Google it. ChatGPT it, Gemini it, what else is out there? Grok it.
And it could be 100% legal.
I don't know. I'm not going to believe them if they're just like, I'm not going to tell you, I don't know about it. Just I'll go look at it. I don't believe that. All right. No proof. No, I'm the Russian chicken, man. Fanatic, thank you. With the amount of fraud going on, you don't blame anyone for being anti-immigration. You can only hope the people who let it happen are held responsible. And that's why I'm saying it can't just be mass deportations. It has to be closing all of these kinds of loopholes that allow fraud. It has to be getting rid of all of the incentives to come here. Stop giving free healthcare, free housing. Stop giving all of this welfare benefits to people. If you're going to immigrate here, you should not get on welfare. Whenever you try to emigrate to another country, if you can't support yourself, or if you don't have a sponsor that can prove they can take care of you, you can't come in. Right? And so, like, if you're emigrating here and you try to get on welfare, instead of being granted the welfare, you should just be deported. That's wild. Andy Nyo saying 5 of the 10 Somali daycares in Minnesota that Nick Shirley visited were registered meal sites for the unprecedented Feeding Our Future Somali fraud. Those 5 daycares received nearly $5 million from Feeding Our Future. The nonprofit stole at least $250 million of public money to enrich large networks of Somalis. I very much understand everyone, including my own frustration with, like, the state of Republicans. But I very much think that it is dangerous. Like, I know Asmongold has been saying, like, if something isn't done, I'm not going to vote in the midterms. I want something to be done. I want something to be done very much. I am sick of the spineless do-nothings. But unless there is someone to actually vote for, abstaining from the vote is going to make things astronomically worse. And it's not going to be an accelerationist wet dream where eventually things get so bad that a revolution happens. It's just going to make it harder for us to dig ourselves out of the hole that we get put into. I don't want to vote for the spineless do-nothings, and I very much hope that in some of these areas, the spineless do-nothings have to actually run against someone who wants to do something for their seat. I don't know how plausible that is, but I would like to see that be the case. But abstaining from voting, I don't think is going to be very helpful. And I'm going to feel very angry if I have to vote for a spineless do-nothing. But that is better than just letting a Democrat get another seat and make things worse. 5 of 10 daycare facilities in Nick Shirley's Minnesota report were meal sites for fraud-laden Feeding Our Future nonprofit. The case surrounding fraud with the Feeding Our Future has seen over 90 people charged and at least 60 people have been convicted. And several have been let go by 3 white woman judges for some reason. According to the Minnesota Star Tribune, half of the 10 daycare facilities that were visited by Shirley were also connected to Feeding Our Future as meal sites. Altogether, the 5 daycare businesses got nearly $5 million from Feeding Our Future between 2018 and 2021. The 5 businesses that were featured in Shirley's report have not been legally accused of wrongdoing in the case, but have been brought under higher scrutiny since Shirley's expose. Of the 10 daycare sites the Tribune visited, reporters with the outlet said that only 4 of them had any children present, and in the other cases, 6 other facilities were either closed or employees did not open their doors. In one facility that was licensed for over 100 children, only 50 were present. The daycare center that was at the core of Shirley's expose, the Quality Leering Center, which has since corrected a typo in its sign to Learning, has had a slew of violations over the past few years. A Minnesota resident also said that Monday, a few days after Shirley's report, was the first time they had ever seen children at the daycare. In 2024, the daycare had a violation for not reporting a quote-unquote death, serious injury, fire, or emergency as required. However, in that case, like dozens of others, the state's website and the daycare center corrected the violation with correction documentation, which was then approved by Minnesota. I want to know what that is. Is this something that someone in Minnesota can, like, FOIA request? Can you, like, FOIA request what this fucking violation was? Because that's really fucking weird. That's really weird. Shirley's expose, where he and a Minnesota local by the name of David investigate the operation of several Somali-run daycare centers, has gone viral online with over 130 million views on X and nearly 3 million on YouTube. After its release, the Trump administration has frozen all childcare payments going to Minnesota. Which, good, at least something is happening, but there needs to be way more, way faster, and way more severe. Some in the mainstream media and on the left have now taken aim at Shirley instead of looking deeper into his allegations of fraud. Which is, again, weird. Why are we attacking the guy who uncovered the fraud? Why is someone like Tim Waltz saying investigating fraud is white supremacy? What is this actual fucking retardation on display? Saying, over the last week, the SBA has reviewed thousands of potentially fraudulent pandemic-era PPP and EIDL loans approved in Minnesota. Today, our agency took action to suspend 6,900 Minnesota borrowers amid suspected fraudulent activity. In total, these borrowers were approved for 7,900 PPP and EIDL loans worth approximately $400 million. These individuals will be banned from all SBA loan programs, including disaster loans, going forward. We will also refer every case, where appropriate, to federal law enforcement for prosecution and repayment. After years, the American people will finally begin to see the criminals who stole from law-abiding taxpayers held accountable. And this is just the first state. Which, I mean, great. I love that you're saying this, but I have no faith in the prosecution and repayment while we still have activist judges impeding such things. Michael Malice said, this NPR kill the messenger attack on Nick Shirley is several levels of shameless. And they said, what to know about Nick Shirley, the YouTuber alleging daycare fraud in Minnesota. I like how they call him a YouTuber or an influencer to try and discredit the kind of reporting that he's doing, because he's unironically better than them, and people listen to him and not mainstream media. And they said, as a quote, "I'm attacked every time I do my job," he said, without citing specifics. "When I leave my house to go to work, I'm violently assaulted, I've been bear sprayed and beaten down, I've been almost killed." And then Cam Higbee, I think he's the guy that we watched do those anti-Islamification of America protests, where he was carrying around like a pack of bacon. I'm pretty sure that's that guy that we watched. He quote retweeted this and said,
"Spicy cat raid. What the hell is this spicy cat raid?"
Okay, well, Cam Higbee didn't say that, but he did say NPR accidentally quoted me instead of Nick Shirley and attributed the quote to him.
Spanking because you've been a bad girl.
Top-notch journalism are they writing with ChatGPT? And I read this and I was like, damn, maybe I owe Vice an apology. I thought Vice was just like naturally shitty. And so having someone report falsehoods and misquotations was just par for the course for Vice's shitty journalistic integrity. But apparently that is just par for the course of any journalistic integrity. I just, you know, sorry, I didn't realize you were all that fucking bad. Wow, top journo. And they're probably using AI writing, right? So that's really funny that in trying to smear Nick Shirley, they misquote him and give him a Cam Higbee quote. They were obviously trying to quote Nick. I'm just racking my brain about how they randomly pulled my quote out of thin air. Yeah, right? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You can't hate journalists enough. True and fucking real. If you defend Vice, I'll only use it against you. Clearly, I'm being sarcastic for those for those with a touch of the tism. I'm not actually apologizing to Vice. Said breaking NPR News reports that Minnesota House GOP leader Lisa Demuth acknowledged the Republican Party's involvement in Nick Shirley's viral daycare video, saying, "We worked with Nick Shirley on this." That matters because the video has been widely framed as independent citizen journalism. Minnesota officials have said fraud investigations were already underway long before the video, and inspections have not backed up many of the claims made about the specific daycare centers shown. Still, the video fueled widespread outrage and targeted scrutiny of Somali-owned childcare providers. With a top Republican now on record confirming coordination, this reframes the entire narrative. This wasn't just a lone YouTuber uncovering something new. A political party acknowledges involvement in producing or shaping media that went viral, not organically, and helped drive public backlash. And Nick Shirley obviously coming in and saying, this is completely false. I have no idea who this lady is. She is lying to make herself look good for her campaign. Help, shame on her. And an immense shame on her, because she should know, being in the GOP, that anything she says is going to be carried forever. So if she lies about something like this, there's going to be millions of little retards continuously saying that Nick Shirley was a GOP plant that worked together with Republicans to make a hit piece on the poor, downtrodden Somali community because they're all racist and want all black people deported. And it's like, why would you do this, you dumb piece of shit woman? This is like, I wouldn't even call her a rhino, because a rhino is too good for someone like this. Controlled opposition? Yeah, this is like unironic sabotage at this point. Right? Like, she can't be so retarded that she doesn't realize saying this would just give fuel to the enemy political party, and that she's fucking everything up by trying to say this. It's just incredibly malicious. Nick Shirley continued, either way, I'm sure this lady would make for a much better candidate than Tim Walz. Considering what she's just done, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if she got in, she would just continue the fraud train. I don't trust her. Based on this one thing, I do not trust this woman. And I would not trust her to be a better candidate than Walz. Best of luck in your race, and the truth is the truth. Fraud is happening, and we should celebrate that it is being exposed at a national level. Best of luck, and I hope you have a fair election. Oh, Nickathy. He about to learn real fucking fast what giving people the benefit of the doubt does to people in his position. That's so unfortunate. Godspeed, brother. And Mike Lindell, the Pillow Man, said, Nick, she is running for Minnesota governor against me. I don't know much about the Pillow Man, but I would trust the Pillow Man over this woman who just tried to completely discredit Nick. She's a liar and most likely a rhino, aka Dem opposition. Yup. Yup. An optimistic youth. We need more of him. We need optimism, but also realism. Right? Don't give benefit of the doubt to people who are just waiting to cut you down.